Joining us in the studio, though, now, Major Eddie Thibodeaux, the new force. And I'll say he's a force because he's come in, and we see the changes that he's making. We see the direction he's going with St. Landry Parish Crime Stoppers. All good things to come. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How's it going this morning?
Welcome to the whirlwind of PIO and media.
Yeah, welcome on in, huh?
But the thing about it is it takes a special person to be able to be open, first of all. A lot of people in their jobs aren't used to someone saying, "Why'd you do it that way?" And that's what a PIO does.
One, you have to have thick skin, and you have to be right on the spot. I remember one case that I worked train reconstruction for accidents, and a local TV station said, well, look, we're just going to talk about trains, and same thing. She just stuck the mic in there and said, what are y'all doing about the people getting killed in St. Landry Parish?
And you're like,
well, we're going to, you know what, I'll have to keep, Bernie, don't do that. I know you were planning on something like that, but keep yourself under control.
I'll try.
So it's an exciting time for St. Landry Parish Crime Stoppers. There's a lot of work to be done, clearly. We see that what you're, the things you're investigating on a pretty regular basis of things. And using us at KPEL and different ways of getting the word out. How do you see St. Landry Parish Crime Stoppers, working real work in the community, taking the bad guys off the streets?
Well, one thing we did, and when I walked into the Crime Stoppers information, we revamped the website. Usually we were just putting the daily arrest report. And what was sad was I looked at the daily arrest report on the hits, and it was 200, 300 hits. I said, well, we have more than one crime a week.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't we start putting wanted persons, more crimes? Because after we speak, and I'm only a spokesman. The real men and women of Crime Stoppers are the dispatchers, the patrolmen, and the detectives.
Yeah, that's right.
Working holidays. On their birthdays, missing family outings.
Yeah.
But they're the ones. I only disseminated information. So what I thought was, if we do it just once a week on TV or on the radio, I said, people forget about it. So what I did now, I instructed our staff to say, look, let's just keep on putting things on the website so they can go back and say, wait, I knew I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is the website so people can go to?
It's on Facebook.
Okay.
It's St. Landry Crime Stoppers.
Okay, perfect.
What's interesting is, and it's just, I don't even know what to say about it. I started putting crimes on there, and I've got 1,000 hits, 2,000 hits on crimes. And the Did You Know, we put out a weekly Did You Know, and that's when the sheriff puts out domestic violence things, and that's got a couple of 300 to 1,000. But when you look at my, I guess the press release that they said I was going to be the new PIO, I got over 24,000, like 24,800 hits. And it's really alarming because if you look at it, we're trying to get, like we have a sexual offender that's on the list.
Yeah.
Hasn't did anything he was supposed to do on registering as a sex offender. I think he's got like 1,000 hits. I believe this. I should not have 25,000 hits because I'm the new spokesman, and we have crimes. One of the other crimes, we have a 97-year-old World War II veteran that they just ransacked his house, stole silver coins, a lot of weapons, and a actual dagger or a knife that was taken off of a German soldier, and they took it from this man. That's what I want to get the message out. I want to get.
Yeah, you want people to know about these crimes. Hey, this is really happening.
Right.
And heads up to people at pawn shops, heads up to people who are collectors. Hey, you may be seeing something like this. You better know what the actual, background of something is that maybe you're thinking of purchasing, because this may have come from somebody's home.
He actually drew, and this guy is 97 years old. He was actually on a fishing trip for 3 days. He is active. He actually drew, and you can look on the website, he actually drew the picture of the knife. So not too many people will have a war relic in their possession. So if you wouldn't mind, just look on the website and see if we've also, like you said, we put the guns and the serial numbers on the website, so you can check it out before you.
I love that.
Purchase one.
I think that's perfect. People need to know. They need to know it's at their fingertips, and they can do it too. That they can help those men and women that every day they don't get the credit. Like you said, you end up being the spokesperson, but it's not about you. It's about them. You know,
like I always tell people, I'm a spokesman. My main thing is training. We teach firearms and stuff, and we do a lot of self-defense classes. I'm not out there, and what I want to do with the Crime Stoppers now is put a patrolman with me, the guy that's in your neighborhood that you see patrolling your residence or at a store, and you can come up to him and say, "Hey, I think it's my neighbor," because I'm not going to be as much as outside as a patrolman.
Right.
You know, like I
the
said,
patrolman will be in the neighborhood all the time.
Right.
I always think especially in cities like Opelousas, when we covered the last congressional election and hearing what all the different candidates wanted to say and what they wanted for Opelousas or even St. Landry Parish on a larger scale, saying, it's a place that, especially Opelousas, look at downtown where people have moved out of to try to bring back and revitalize that. And I think a lot of that has to do with almost a responsibility that if I commit a crime, there are going to be people who look for me. And as much as you don't want to say the Old West, you have someone's picture up places just to look at them. Guess what? It really limits the places you can go. You're not going to go to the gas station. Yeah, if your face is posted behind the cash register. What do you think, just in general? I mean, we're just sort of getting to know Maj Eddie Thibodeaux again for St. Landry Parish, new force behind St. Landry Parish Crime Stoppers. What do you think the role is, just in day-to-day, maybe not investigating crimes, but in law enforcement, just in the community, out getting to know the community, helping the community? Well,
I started when I was out of high school in '86, and law enforcement has changed. With the social media out there, I mean, it's on the spot, down to the second, news releases and stuff. But we still, there is nothing better than a neighborhood watching their own stuff.
Yeah.
We can, some people will call us and say, look, I want extra patrol at my house. And then they'll call the sheriff and say, they never came. We did. We came at 3 a.m. and stuff.
Right.
If you want me to shine a big light through your windows,
hey,
but we, as much as law enforcement we can have out there, I really think it's the people that has to come forth and tell us, who they think. The smallest little information. Right now we're working on the body that was found in the canal.
Yes.
And it made me feel good when I got my first tip on the tip line. And the lady said, look, it might not be nothing, but here's some information. And if we don't get the community involved, law enforcement just can't. We can't do it by ourselves.
And any little tip could help. You saw a car where there usually isn't a car. Maybe some people in a parking lot where there normally are people waiting out in the parking lot. I also think it just kind of goes back to the way I was always raised, was not to be afraid of a police officer. And if you are in trouble, and you need to know that you can go to them, like as a kid, and I think that has sort of changed in our culture.
That is one of my, I speak a lot of places. Even before I was PIO in the 90s, and we did some updates and stuff, but I've spoken to schools and AARP. One of my pet peeves is when I hear a parent tell a child, look, that cop's going to come get you.
Yeah.
And I've done it before that I would say, I'll only come get you if you don't listen to mom. And, and I try to tell parents when we do our parent talks, this kid gets lost. I was talking in the lobby, one of the guests, and he was amazed that at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's kids standing on the side of the road in the dark waiting for the school bus already in Lafayette. Well, if this kid gets lost, well, you just told the policeman that you just told your kid that the policemen are going to get you, and he will not come to us. So we want to be out there. That's why I love school resource officers, because they're in the schools and saying, look, we're not bad.
Yeah, we're just good people, and we want to help you,
And you might even feel a little bit of responsibility, kind of like you don't want to disappoint your parents. Look, if you have that close relationship with the resource officer, guess what? When you're at the party and there's drugs or alcohol, you might not even want to go there. Might not even want to get to that place. Maj Thibodeaux, it's been great visiting with you. We look forward to everything from St. Landry Parish Crime Stoppers and whatever we can do to help.
Yeah,
we are one call away
with the crime, especially since you're getting the tips. And I think
we do
great.
have one that we're working. It's going to be airing next time.
Okay, what do we need to know?
Big Tex Trailers. It's right on the outside of Opelousas.
Okay.
This guy, broad daylight. Well, last year he got robbed about $15,000 worth of merchandise, just wire and harness tires. Well, last week, broad daylight, right after closing, a guy in a F-250 silver pickup hooked up to a gooseneck trailer worth a little over $6,000. He's clean cut. He's wearing a red polo shirt. Picked it up. Now they did with great law enforcement help.
Right.
The state police found it parked a little while away, but we still want to catch this guy. This is the third time this guy's been hit, so we're going to feature that one on Crime Stop.
That's got to be so frustrating as a business person.
Absolutely.
I would want to pull all my hair
You're just trying
out.
to get ahead.
Yeah,
and
man.
you have this happening.
In fact, he didn't even know. We called him and
Really?
said, "Hey, we have a tip." A girl actually called in and said, "Hey, I saw this," and he had to go back and check and see.
check it out. Yeah, that's
but it is
amazing.
frustration. You're trying to make a living, and thieves just come and take your stuff.
I know it. Well, Major, we hope to see you on a regular basis and harass you.
Anytime,
the other folks in law
anytime,
enforcement.
invite me, and just be safe and be alert, and God bless.
Absolutely. God bless you too.
7:22 now with KPEL.